At 22, I really don't know how to feel about all of this. First half. Sometimes a building can feel like the underside of a table, the same way a lamp can mimic sunset, or the way a bowl of spaghetti forces recollection of a bucket of worms, each fingerling drowned in a particular hatred of fish, the orchestral prongs dipping back and forth between two uninterested creatures. Resolve, or something vaguely resembling it, can be found in the sips of a seltzer thing, and little napkin kisses like the ending of a long movie, but watery paper and papery water alone tend to pale in contrast to a platter with what can only be described as delusion edible. A seamstress is sort of like the opposite of a mistress, but that wasn't necessarily a bad thing, she thought. The tragedy inherent to working alone is an absence of chaotic ideas, which isn't a tragedy at all. It's just like it's polar. It was simply too easy to remember her last conversation with a human being. A waitress should always be on double time. Early, in fact. I could have taught you to aim a needle, but you're on your own now. You could have brought me a drink? Are you going to be long? The wait's just for the ice. Woman, who is in charge? And the clock ran out of time. It was impossible to tell if a few moments congealed or if the day, rather, lay crooked. Like a call without an answer, a door without a handle, her supervisor never arrived, and her back felt like it had been wrung to dry. She kept staring at the corner in the floor, diving into sandstone, the 3 slices of inescapable light and desert, counting the edges as if they were sprinkles on a cupcake, balancing the symmetry like books in a store, cursing the pores to be lucky enough to have such lucid vision of her future and perfect darkness of her past. Everything at the expense of nothing. All that mattered was the consequence of her body on the floor, melting into words that anybody could have read in her voice, its weakness locked in a heart without a name. Today, however, a smile hovered. The shadow of a visitor had proven realistic, and a pattern emerged like doom cats in wind, reconciling itself with cascades of hopeless optimism, as if the rings on her necklace would melt also, as the prophecy foretold, but the hollowness of her palms were replaced with a heaviness and urgency, familiar and curious simultaneously. Perhaps just a wind or two away, except he turned the switch off not after, but rather before leaving the stone room, decision which left her in such shambles fantasies of his immediate disappearance populated her imagination. Chapter 22 of Unspecified Terminal Condition.